Hello everyone, today I'm going to demonstrate how you can make an oatmeal kefir pie crust. It sounds a little bit guilt-free, and it is. It's also very delicious and flaky and easy to make. Pie crusts are actually really simple to make, but the rule is that you want everything as cold as possible. So if you're living in a place that's very cold, that has winter, making a pie crust is a lot easier. You're not going to have to worry so much about overworking the dough. You don't have to chill it as long. But I live in a place that is always summer all year round. It's always very, very hot. So my first step will be actually to measure out the butter that I will be using in this recipe, and I will be putting it all in the freezer to chill. Some people go to the extent of freezing the flour before they make the pie crust. I don't do that, but you could. So now I am just cutting the butter into half-inch pieces. I just want it to be easily incorporated into the pie dough, and because it's going to be frozen. This is our homemade kefir. It is really thick, very delicious, and if you don't have kefir, you can always use yogurt or buttermilk in place of it. So I'm measuring out some of the kefir that I will be needing for this recipe, and I'm going to put it in the freezer to get extra cold. Now today I will be using my stand mixer to make the pie dough, simply because my hands are just too warm to keep it cold. But you can definitely use your hands to make pie dough. It doesn't take very long, and it's very fun and rewarding as well. So I'm going to measure out half the flour weight using oatmeal, and then I'm going to blend it. I'm just putting bread flour. Personally, I find that bread flour and the oat flour really complement each other. The bread flour keeps the pastry together and binds it, and the oatmeal flour adds nutrition and fiber. 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, which is optional, and 1/4 and 1/8 teaspoon of salt. And just combine. Finally, I'm going to be adding the butter to the flour mixture, and then I'm putting everything in my stand mixer on medium heat to get the butter worked into the flour. I just want to get it until the stage where a little bit of the butter is still not yet incorporated. There's still some larger chunks of butter, but that's okay. So now I'm going to add in a little bit of my semi-frozen kefir, not too much. Now the dough is just starting to come together. Looks perfect. Add a little bit of liquid at a time until your dough comes together and it isn't too sticky or too crumbly. I'm going to coat it in a little bit of flour and chill it in the fridge for an hour. Now here is an alternative to using plastic wrap to wrap your pie dough. You can just put it into a bowl. I coated it with a little bit of flour to make it easy to roll out later on. And I'm just going to press the lid on. It's a pretty good seal. I don't know if it changes the dough in any way, but I think it's just worth not using the extra plastic wrap in an attempt to reduce, waste. Later on, I greased my pie plate with a little bit of leftover butter. I spread some flour on the counter and I started to roll the pie dough out, rotating the dough a little bit so that it wouldn't stick. Then I'm rolling it out to a very large piece, larger than I need because you need a little bit of excess, maybe about 1/4 inch thick or slightly thinner. Then I'm rolling it over my rolling pin. You can see how well the dough is holding together. despite using oatmeal. In fact, I think oatmeal adds a lot to the pie dough. Now, don't worry if it doesn't come out perfect. It takes practice to roll the pie crust. You can always patch up the sides and any cracks with excess dough. Trim off the dough from the sides and prick the bottom of the pie base. So I'm par baking for about 15 minutes. I'm par baking my bottom crust. Then I'm going to be taking it out and filling it. You'll have to stay tuned for the next video. Later on, I'm going to show you how I make my sugar-free pie fillings and give you about 2 or 3 different recipes. So do like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Bye!